So let's talk about the future of web search. Not some far-off sci-fi future, but one that is literally being built right now. Today we're diving into a paper called Mind to Web 2, and it introduces a really clever way to grade this next generation of super smart AI search tools. Let's get into it.
Think about the last time you had to do a really complex search online. Was it kind of a pain? Clicking one link, hitting back, trying another, it's a slog. Well, what if that whole experience felt less like sorting through a messy list and more like you were just having a conversation with a brilliant research assistant?
And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. It's the whole idea behind a new kind of search that's starting to take off, one that's all about moving way beyond just giving you links and actually giving you complete answers.
And there's a name for this. It's called Agentic search. The concept is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You have these AI agents that go out and autonomously browse the web for you. They read a bunch of different pages, pull all the important info together, and then hand you a finished, citation-backed answer. Basically, it offloads all that tedious legwork from you onto the AI.
Okay, but how does something like this handle a really messy, real-world request? Well, take this one, which comes straight from the paper. A user needs to furnish a bedroom. They need a white bed frame, a desk, a chair, a floor lamp, and a two-door wardrobe, all from IKEA and all within a pretty tight budget of $200 to $600. I mean, that is not a simple keyword search.
And this is the promise of Agentic search. The perfect result isn't a link to the IKEA homepage, right? No, it's a complete, ready-to-go shopping list. You've got product names, the exact prices, direct links to each item, and a total cost that actually fits the budget. It gives you a real answer, not just a new to-do list.
But all this incredible power creates a massive new challenge. As these AI agents get smarter and the tasks get way more complex, we run into a really big problem, one that researchers are calling the evaluation crisis. And it boils down to a simple, crucial question. How do we actually know if these AI agents are any good?
Here's the issue. Our old benchmarks, our old tests, they were built for simple, static questions. What is the capital of France? The answer is Paris. It doesn't change. But Agentic search has to tackle questions about the live web, like what's in stock at IKEA right now? The answer to that could be totally different in an hour.
So if you look at the existing ways we test these things, they just fall short. They're all focused on these short, simple tasks with fixed answers. Mind to Web 2, on the other hand, was built from the ground up to handle these long, complex, and constantly changing tasks. It is a whole new ballgame.
And this is exactly why it's called an evaluation crisis. Think about it. Without a reliable, consistent way to measure how well these agents perform, we can't really trust them. And just as importantly, researchers can't figure out how to make them better. Progress just hits a wall.
So how do you get past this crisis? Well, this paper introduces a really brilliant solution. It's a framework they call the agent as a judge. Let's break down exactly how this thing works. It all happens in 3 pretty simple steps. So first, this AI judge takes that messy user request and breaks it down into a super detailed checklist, which they call a rubric. Then, for step 2, the judge goes through every single item on that checklist and verifies it, checking the agent's answer against the websites it used as sources. And finally, it just tallies up the score based on how many of those little criteria were met. Now, this diagram might look a little intimidating at first glance, but the idea behind it is actually super straightforward. All the AI judge is doing is creating this incredibly detailed checklist, this rubric, to break down a huge task, like our IKEA shopping trip, into a whole bunch of tiny, easy-to-verify questions. And at the very bottom level, each of those tiny questions gets a simple pass or fail. So, did the agent find a bed frame that was white? Yep, pass. Was the price it found for the desk correct? Pass. Was the wardrobe actually from the IKEA website? Pass. All of these simple pass-fail judgments then get rolled up to create that final, meaningful score. All right, so now we have the method. We've got our AI judge ready to go. So that brings us to the big question. How did today's top AI agents actually do when they were put to the test? Let's take a look at the scorecard.
The results are really fascinating. The first thing you notice is that AI agents are way faster. We're talking more than twice as fast.
They finish these tasks in about 8.5 minutes, while a human takes over 18. But, and this is a big but, their overall success rate still has a long way to go to catch up.
Just to put that into perspective for you, a human was able to successfully complete these complicated tasks 54% of the time. The very best AI they tested, it only managed a 28% success rate. So yeah, there is clearly a pretty big gap to close.
But here's the kicker. The thing that makes all of these results so credible. How good is the judge itself? Can we trust its scoring? Well, the researchers actually tested their own agent as a judge system, and they found it had a mind-blowing 99% correctness rate. That means we can be really confident in this evaluation. So where are these agents messing up? Well, the most common mistakes are pretty straightforward. A lot of times they're just missing information, or they give an answer that isn't actually backed up by the websites they looked at. They also frequently break one of the main rules, like, going over the user's budget. Okay, so let's pull all of this together. What does this all mean for the future of search, and more importantly, what does it mean for you and me? I think this quote from the paper's conclusion just nails the ultimate vision here. It says that agentic search has the potential to augment human cognition by automating away the legwork and allowing us to focus our limited cognitive capacity on things that matter more. It's not about replacing us, it's about making us better. So if there's one big takeaway, it's this. AI is already way faster than we are at this kind of complex research. And even though it isn't as accurate, yet, the fact that we now have a reliable way to measure its performance means we can expect it to get better and probably a lot faster than we think.
So what's the bottom line here? Well, first, thanks to Mind2Web 2, we finally have a solid, reliable way to test these super complex AI search agents. Second, having that benchmark allows researchers to start building systems that are much more trustworthy and capable. And finally, and this is so important, the goal isn't to replace people, it's to augment our own abilities, to free us up to do the actual thinking.
Which really just leaves us with one last, pretty exciting question to think about. Now that we have this new era of evaluation that's driving progress forward, how long do you think it'll be until your own personal AI assistant can do all of this tedious research for you?